Hey everybody, welcome back. So after working with the big data in Databricks for years, a question arose that can we work with Excel in Databricks? The answer used to be yes, but now it is confident yes. So with this last update, we have this read Excel files in Databricks directly. So it's in the preview, but I think the feature is live now. So they have extended their support for Excel files directly in the Databricks. So we will have the support for Excel reading and writing operations in the Databricks directly. We don't have to manually edit our Excel and save it as CSV earlier as we used to. So now the support is already added as a feature. So let's take a look into this and how we can do some hands-on with the Excel file formats. So a few prerequisites for parsing the Excel is that this is different options and the description given by them. So data address is the address of the sheet range, we would say. So that would be the range of the sheet and the sheet name that we want to upload, and the headers row option is the option if we want to have our row as a header, or by default if we want Databricks to apply some headers, so it will be just like XML or any other format, C1 C2 something like that. And if our first row is a header, then we enable this option, otherwise we keep it disabled. Then this is just some small operations for the different formats. I will add the link of this official documentation in the description of the video, so we can have a link just for our references. But here's the code for reading the Excel. And now I will quickly switch back to our Databricks and see this in action. So welcome back. So I've copied the code from our official documentation. Let me give you a brief about this. So this is our basic code. We just create a data frame and we use spark.read.excel API. And here we want to put the path of our file or the directory which we want to read out. Correct. And this is the custom implementation when we have our header rows, so we enable it. And I will be using this one because my Excel has header rows, and this one is for a particular sheet to be read out or the sheet name to be read out. Well, this code only reads the very first sheet that is open. In case our Excel has only one sheet, then it will read the very first sheet or the only existing sheet. And this is a custom implementation if we want to read out a particular sheet of our Excel. And here it also says the sheet range from A1 to E10. So let's go back into our Databricks. Now this is the data frame that I'll be creating, so I'll need to just comment this part out as well, and then I will just put a df.display. Let's go to our Excel now. So I have a volume, a Databricks volume, where I usually land my data. So this is my Excel that I'll be reading out. So it is region wise orders cleaned, and it has been landed into my volume. But normally we also have ADLS Gen 2 or an S3 bucket. You just need to copy the path to the Excel. And let's go back into our code, and wherever the path was mentioned, I'll just paste my. Okay, so after the display of the df or the data frame is displayed, and this is how our resultant data frame looks like. So you see this first row as header is not read as such, and the Databricks has applied its own naming convention, which we typically see. So underscore C0, C1, C2, this one. But now if we go back and we want our custom implementation of header row equals 1, so we'll uncomment this part. I'll also comment this part, but for the purposes I need this directory of the file, so I'll copy this and paste it here. think the df is created. I just need to display the df, so no need to create the df again. Now you see that Databricks has taken the first row as header with our this one, the new option. And also if you saw, the schema is also changed now. So this one is as a big int, this one is double or decimal, and this one is as a date timestamp. So this last implementation won't be of much help in our case because it is a single sheet of 9 records and first row as a header. But typically what we see is if our excel has multiple sheets, so we will just type our sheet that we want to display or we want to read in this option, and the range of the sheet we want to display in this option. So a1 to whatever it extends, the range of the sheet, that depends on the sheet which we want to display. We will just keep the options here and it will be the same as how we did for the earlier steps. Now we go back to the documentation just to see how in SQL we can read this data. So in SQL we can directly read this using the read files option. So this is the read files option, and we just uh, copy this code and go back to our notebook. We come back to this cell, we paste our code. I've copied my directory, so I'll just paste it here. So for Python implementation, I took the whole directory within quotes, but I had to remove it. So we need to remove this operation because it only lists the sheets that are present in here, but we want to see the actual data, so we'll remove this one. That was just a function to list all the sheets, but we want to see the actual data. So now we see all the data, but it already does not have the header row equals 1 enabled. So it gives us the same format as our very first implementation of the Python, right? So we see all the uh, formats as string formats, and the format hasn't been changed. Also the naming convention is c0 c1 as it typically does. So if we want our resultant data to have header rows option enabled and also to infer the schema from the dataset, so we will just come to this part, read if excel file using sql, and we will just copy this header rows equals 1 and we'll paste it into our query. Let's go back, and once I pasted this header rows equals 1 and I executed the query, it will automatically infer the schema from the source data, and also it will, instead of c0 c1, it will name the headers accordingly it is in the excel. So this is how this is equivalent to the second implementation that we did in python. And finally, if we want to do the third custom part of the code, so the third part that is also available in the documentation, we can just have these functions uh, copied into our query, and then we can paste it there, and you will see the sheet you want to refer to will be displayed, and the range you want to refer to will also be restricted to that. So this is all about Excel support, reading and writing into Excel using Databricks. As a final conclusion, I would say just read out these limitations. So have a quick scan of these limitations that exist for dealing Excel in the Databricks. So right now there are some limitations on the Excel reading and writing in Databricks, just like only one header row is supported, and also password protected files are not supported, and there are also some other limitations. Then also have a look into the FAQs, so it will answer most of your questions, right? And if you are ever in a dilemma in which format to use, I would still go for CSV instead of Excel. Just have a manual step of converting your Excel file into the CSV, because CSV supports massive parallel processing, whereas Excel is only consuming one node. So all the data of Excel will be read into one node, and the operations are not optimized. Since Excel is read into single node, single task format, so Excel operations are not very optimized. Also, if we have a very large Excel, so it will take a lot of time and resources, so the performance will be impacted, and it will be a very costly operation. So I would go for Excel only if our Excel is very small, and go to CSV in the cases Excel is large. I will just have a manual step of converting that Excel into the CSV, since CSV is optimized reads and write. So with this, I conclude my video. So I will have a new video coming up very soon where I want to just compare the performance of Excel and CSV parallelly, and let's see which one performs better. So I have a planned video for that, and I'll also be starting a series where I cover the Databricks certified ML associate and the Databricks certified GenAI associate exams as well. So we'll discuss the questions there, and so share this video with fellow data and AI enthusiasts, and see you in the next one. Thank you.